Okay, Mark, it's Sunday, so I'm doing a little work on the weekend to try to catch up a little bit here. So this is your pre-owned radio. So inside here is the factory mic, the power cord. The bracket already has the protection on it. The customer did use this, so like I say, it's pre-owned. So it has the stick-on adhesive things to protect the side of the radio. The mounting screws, there's some like the I can't show you. The screws that go on the side of the radio to hold the bracket. Those like black knob screws. Those are all there. There's also I think there's two or maybe three of the sheet metal screws. I guess you could bolt the bracket down on something. There's a couple of the washers. All that is in the little bag with the factory mic. So all that is in here. I'm not going to undo it because it's kind of hard to get all that stuff back in there. Here's the book right here. So I would reference that with any, learning how to use some of the features and whatnot. Well, I think you already had a Quad 5, so you probably are pretty well straight with that. But it's relatively the same. I don't know if the Quad 5 you had was the newer one. They call it the Plus or something, but in my opinion, these are much better because you're getting the noise reduction, you're getting the TX noise gate, which helps knock out background noise and things of that nature. And these are just a better radio, in my opinion, than the AT, what is it, 5555 Plus or something. They do make a Plus/N, but I haven't seen those ever in the US. So, and that one would be more similar to this. So here is the outer box right here for you. And we'll get the radio up here and get it hooked up and see what's going on with it. Okay, this is the serial number right there. And then if we look at the back of the radio, that's the serial number right there. So it's a matching unit with the box. All right, here's the radio hooked up. We're in receive mode. So we're putting in a S9 signal, and that's what we're seeing on the display there, S9. RF gain is up all the way. There's no noise blanker of any of that stuff on, so that's what we got there. And we'll test the sensitivity now, so we'll just take this down to about 114. And we'll see where it's coming in, maybe just a tad less. 113. Okay, so we'll look up here at our signal meter, sinus meter, so about 112. Oop. Oops, I hit the wrong button. Well, 112.5, right at 12 dB. So, right there for you. So that's really good. And you can see it's still showing a little bit of a signal there. So if I unplug the jack, it's nice and loud. That's good. Plug that back in. Okay, let's do sideband. Lower. So set this back up. Shut this off. And turn that down. Adjust my volume level. It's way too loud right now. Okay. And right on S9. Right there for you. I'm going to take this down to 126. I'll start at that and see. Yeah, it's still got quite a bit of gain. You can see it's above 12, so 128 maybe. These are really, really good on sideband, also 128.5. Oop. It's about where it's falling in at there, so it's excellent. Let's listen to it. Still very present there. So yeah, they got great receive. Better than pretty much anything I've seen in a long time. That's why when these first hit the market, I was so impressed with them. And this is the original production model. So, you know, when they first made these, this is this first series. They really haven't changed anything with the new ones that I have or anything, but this would be more the first time they made them. So some guys like that. It's like first edition or something. So let me get this hooked up to the transmit. I'm just going to see what's going on with it. It's been a while since I had it hooked up. Alright, Mark, so I'm in the service menu, so I'm just going to show you, this is the dead key levels that you selected. So this is AM power low. Let's key this up. You can see it's channel 20. So this is a 5 watt right here on the middle scale, so it's just about 1, maybe just a hair under, so that I can't get it any closer to 1 than that. So it's not like it's a older style radio where you have a dial inside or anything. This is through the front. So that's your 1, and then this is going to be your high power. I think you said 3 if I remember correctly. So still on the 5 watt side, and just about 3 right there for you. So 1 and 3. So that's going to be this dial here when it's in traditional operation mode. It's going to be 1 all the way down and 3 all the way up. So you're going to have quite a bit of leeway in between to go a couple watts. So I'll show you the FM power. This is FM power low. Now this dial doesn't come into place at all during this engineering mode. This is totally disabled, so it's all through the radio. This is going to be your low power FM. It's 1 watt right there on the 5 watt side, and then high power FM is 40. So flick this over here. This is a 50 watt scale now, so we're still looking in the middle, but now it's reading correctly as it shows on the screen, and just at 40. So just be careful if you ever run FM. You don't want to run it at that high of power level for a long time, because it will heat up the radio really quickly. So that's that for that. So I'm going to check the modulation levels and sideband. So this was a factory stock radio. Out of the box, these came like 2.5 watts on low for AM and like 10 or 11 on high on AM, which is too much, but that's just how they come, so I always correct it. And originally when I got these, I didn't have the ability because I didn't figure out how to do it. So they don't tell me this stuff. Manufacturers don't want that information out. I've never gave it out, but there's other guys that have definitely, you know, brought that stuff to the radio community. So when someone asks me not to do something, especially when it's someone that does allow me to sell their product, I definitely don't want to jeopardize that business working relationship. So I don't ever give that info out. I know there's a lot of people sometimes ask me stuff like that on YouTube, and I just frankly can't give that information out. Other guys will, because they don't have the same interest as I do. So hopefully that makes sense. But let's move along here. I'll be right back and show you the modulation levels. Alright, so this is your low power AM modulation. So again, now it's slightly over a watt. I haven't changed it, so it's going to vary a little bit under a watt to slightly over a watt. You're going to see a little bit of variation. So it's just the way these radios are made. Pretty much all radios are like that. You know, as they warm up, the power slightly increases, but it's not going to be a ton or anything like that. So it's still going to be around that 1 watt, and it'll still be around that 3 watt that you had asked for. So this is the modulation factory low power. It's really under modulated, so you can see it's like 2.1. So 100% mod would be double that number, and it's kind of low. So what I do is just increase it. It's looking much better. So let's see. So it'd be like 4.32. It's pretty darn close. Yeah, just about right there. That's perfect. Perfect. So let's see if I can, there we go. That's a little bit better way to see it there. So looking good, much better. Spectrum analyzer really doesn't matter on these radios. I mean, they're great radios, so there's no distortion or anything like that. So this is channel 20. There, it's 21. It's 195. I modulate it. You can see that's 100% modulation right within the channel. No problems. Span out to 20 megahertz. There we go. And span out to 100. There you go. So it's really good. There's that. There's the frequency. Perfect. So that's low power. If we put the peak on that, you can see it's going forward and average a little bit. So we put the peak on that, it's about 1 watt to about 4.5 with the tone. So when you talk, it's going to do more. But this is the general idea that it's over 100%. It's times 4 of the carrier, or right around that 100%. So it's good. Let's do the high power now. Alright, this is the high power modulation. So see, we got the watt meter still on the 5 watt, so it's about 3, just slightly over. I went back and adjusted the 1 just a little closer. So again, there's always going to be a slight variation on dead key level. It's going to be maybe just a little under 1, a little over 1, or a little under 3, a little above 3, but not by much. Maybe like a quarter of a watt variance. So you know, it just depends on, you know, the temperature of the radio and all that stuff. Like I could sit here and keep it dead keyed and watch that it can slowly increase as it increases in temperature. So you know, it's hard to set it perfectly. I mean, I can show you, but it's going to vary a little bit each way. So here's the number that we're looking at here. It's about 2 to 2.04, so we want that to be about 4 for 100% modulation. So it's under modulated, you can see. So it's good right there. So that's all it really needs. For AM, let me see. We can just do yeah. That's good right there. A little bit extra, won't hurt nothing. You can see there, it's nice and enlarged. Still very rounded. So it's good. Right here, it's going forward a little bit like it should. So if I switch this over to the 25 now over here, put the peak on. So it's doing 12, somewhere in there. So it's good. And spectrum analyzer, this is the carrier. And that is the modulated signal with 1 channel each way. And then 20 megahertz and 100. It's nice. Nice radio here. So let's do the sideband next. Just a second. Alright, so this is the highest power setting for sideband. So this would be again with your RF power dial all the way up. This is with the double tone. So you can see it's just a little oblonged. It's not as round as I'd like to see it. And they're saying that these are about a 30 watt radio. So yeah, it does more than that though, with your modulation with your voice through a microphone. But on a double tone, we're seeing pretty close to what they're saying. This is a 50, so about 30, in between 30 and 35, somewhere in there. So I'm going to try to correct this ever so slightly. That's a little too drastic of a change there, but that looks better to me. So I have noticed that these radios usually come out pretty good out of where they're made. Some of the other ones I've seen quite a bit more distortion and whatnot on the double tone, so it's basically overmodulated. It's not really distortion, it's just being overmodulated. So some of the strikers, the Anytone Quad 5 N2s, they're pretty bad. Once you adjust them properly, they work great. So it's just a matter of they're not adjusted properly where they're making them. So it's not that there's anything wrong with the radio or anything like that. They're all good radios. I'm not putting down any of those radios. I'm just saying that they could do a better job fixing it, you know, making it better out of the box, because there's some guys that just buy them and use them. And I mean, I don't recommend that, but you know, to each his own on what they want to do with their equipment. So this is high power setting, and then we'll do low next. Low is going to be really low on these, you know, it's very, very adjustable for low power. So just 1 second. Okay, so this is the sideband low. So when I mean low, it's very low. And now this would be if you had your RF power setting all the way down. And again, this is with a dual tone. It's not with voice. It's not with, you know, we're not running something through, like, we're not taking a mic and holding it up to like a tone source. This is directly into the mic socket here with this cable that's coming out of my generator here. So you can see it kind of runs down and that converts into this cable. So that's what you got there. This is the power. This is the 5-watt side right there. So watch what happens if I try to increase it. Yeah, the power goes up. Look what happens to that. So yeah, that's definitely, you don't want that. So yeah, you can still really mess these radios up just by messing with, now that the information is out there, and people that don't have the equipment to do this kind of stuff get in there and just yell audio and turn stuff and think that, you know, that extra, what did it get us here? We were looking at a little over 4, and now we're looking at like 2, so it didn't get us much of anything. We do that for a sacrifice of that. So that's why you have this stuff, and anybody can do this stuff. There's no like special tricks to this or fancy stuff. I don't ever say, oh, I can do something that this guy can or nobody else can. If you buy this kind of stuff and you learn how to use it, it's pretty simple to display the information, look at your equipment, and make the necessary adjustment. It's not anything that's so technical that I don't think the average person couldn't do themselves. It's just a matter of a lot of people don't want to buy this type of equipment, but once you have it, it'll probably last you a long, long time. And it's nice to be able to view your own equipment and see what it's doing. So I'm glad I have this stuff. So that's basically it for the radio. Let's go get your mic. I got to unbox that. I just got a shipment in from KPO, and your mic is in there. So I special order mics for these that already have the number 4 wire disconnected, so that way it saves me time and I can sell my P4 mic for guys that run radios that need that wire. So I'll go grab your mic and I'll be right back. Alright, so here's the mic. This is the standard. This is a 4-pin Cobra. I need to update the website and actually put these on there so that these are actually the ones that are listed with the new radios like this. But for the time being, you know, if you were to purchase that bundled option, and this is going to be a public video, so that's why I'm saying this. Doesn't really pertain to Mark. He already purchased the mic with his used radio here, but it will be this mic, because these mics are made specifically for these radios. That I've said time and time again that if you have your mic jack, you don't want a wire connected to number 4 on your mic with these type of radios. And this would be for like guys that might have like the Quad 5 Plus, I guess is what they call it, Anytone Quad 5 Plus. Or I guess if somehow you managed to get yourself a Quad 5 Plus N, it would be the same for that. So, or if you have the Top Gun Technologies Quad 5, which is discontinued, older, kind of outdated in that sense, but it would work with that as well. Those radios need the specific wiring that this DX mic gives you, which is just generally, you know, you just take any 4-pin Cobra plug that you have. It's not wanting to focus too well, sorry. And just remove number 4, the wire off number 4. And that's it, but these are already set up like that, so saves me time. I don't have to do it to these, and that way I can still offer these to you guys for 4-pin Cobra. So before I was actually just removing the wire off on these, and it just makes it easier to have these. So, and these will work on any like export radio also that doesn't have to have the number 4 wire connected like your Cobras and Unidens and all that stuff need to have sound out of the radio. So that's that. So let's get this hooked up for Mark here, and just we'll test out the power and everything, and then that's going to be it. Your radio's going to be all set for you, Mark. Okay, Mark, so I did run the software for you, so I know you said that you're gonna probably do some of your own programming, which is totally fine. I encourage anyone to learn how to use the radio in all aspects, which the software is part of using the radio, so that's great. I encourage you to do that, but I just gave you the general setup that I give these radios. So I just wanted to demonstrate to you the noise reduction. So we're on FM, and as we all know, FM is quite noisy. I think possibly that's why a lot of guys don't like it, although it is legal to use on CB now. So FM is on, noise reduction's on, so if I turn that off, see how much it quiets it down. So it's working good. I'll leave that off because I'll let you decide what you want to do with your radio. I'll just turn the talk back on. The nice thing about these is the echo is on the outside, so you don't have to do menu stuff to get to the echo. It's one thing I really like about these. And I like the layout. It's more traditional in a lot of ways. So you have a good, where's the NOG here? Although I do like the Quad 5N2 or the CRT 7900V Turbo, I still like this radio a lot because of the way it's designed and how it looks and how it performs. I think I'm talking and I'm not paying attention to the display here, so let me start looking at that a little bit closer. I've gone by it like 2 times now, I think. There it is right there. So we'll just turn on some talk back here, like maybe halfway up, something like that. So tap that. Let's see here. 1, 1, 2, check, check. 1, 2. I don't know how well that can even be heard, so maybe you have to turn up just a little bit more. It's like the third. Where is it? It's number 10. Let's turn it up a little bit more. So 1, 1, 2, check, check. There we go. So that's kind of like an echo level that I like, which would be like that, somewhere in there. But you can do whatever you want with echo. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello radio. So it's got a really good sounding echo. Some of these radios coming out now, I'm not too impressed with the echo. 1, 2, 3. Check, check. Hello. So yeah, I could just say that some of the radios I've seen, not the Strikers, not the Anytones, not these, but some of the other ones, I'm not really impressed with how the echo sounds. So 1, 2, 3. Check, check, check. Hello. Hey, there I am in the display there. That's kind of cool. So I'm not just a voice here, I'm actually a person. So turn the echo off, and we'll go to AM mode. I'll turn the talk back off. This is noise gate. If you want to run that, it helps cut down on maybe a little background noise. Turn this off, just do that. Now it's off. I think it goes up to 63 actually. Yeah. So off. Okay. Here's the Roger beep. We'll just get a quick sound of that. Actually, when you turn this on as well, now the beep is on the follow me. Guy might have a speaker. Yeah, no, I don't. Let's see. I think I disabled that in the software. I'll have to check that, but let's see. Yeah, you can hear the Roger beep through the speaker anyways. But normally when you turn that beep function on, whenever you hit a button, it makes an audible tone. But I hate those, so turn that off. But without that on, you don't hear the beep through the speaker. But it is kind of like a President 2510 style beep. It's kind of unique sounding. I've always liked that beep. So let's again check the power on this. This is the DX NM532. So let's just take a look here and see. So the RF power is up all the way, and you had requested about 3 watts. This is the 50 watt scale. So 1, 2, 3, 4, check, 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 hello. So it's going over the 50. It's not by much, really. You can just demonstrate that here. Put my 100 in there. Turn the peak on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's about 55, somewhere in there. That's about right for these. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello. Okay, we'll go to SSB. This is lower side right here. This is lower side. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are about 50 all the way up. So that's what you should expect out of these. Anything more, it's not recommended. And as I've shown, if you try to crank these things up more, you're just going to overmodulate them. They're going to sound like crap, and you're going to shorten the life of the radio. So just run it how it's intended to be used. They sound great. It's like HF quality sound over the air. And honestly, these mics make a big difference on how good they sound. I mean, the radio sounds good in its own right with that dynamic mic, but these mics do a lot for it. So I'm going to stick with those mics for the long haul here. So let me see what else I can show really quick. Just 1 second. Okay, Mark, here's the software. This is on my monitor. So this is why we're not getting a tone through there. You see that function right there? It says beep volume. I have it set to off. So even when that function is on, it's not going to do anything because the beep volume is off. So if you also want to change any of this stuff, this is the basic setup here that I do on this stuff. So you can see the Roger beep frequency and time. Someone asked me on YouTube about that, and I think I told them it was 2500, I think, or something. Maybe I thought it was 2510, but this one is 2500 in 100 milliseconds. So everything else you can see there. You can change whatever you want with this software. It's totally user compatible with whatever the user wants it to do. So this is just what I like. Oh, I forgot to show one more thing. Just a second here. Okay, so I did change that beep volume in the menu in the software. I mean, I put it to 31. So if I ever, somebody buys a new one from me, it will be on. It'll be at like mid-level sound. It's so loud to me and annoying, those beeps. I don't like them, but you can easily turn that off from the button right here. So it's up to the operator on what they want to do there. So really doesn't matter in that sense what I do in the software, because like I say, I always encourage everyone to do this stuff themselves with their radio. That way you fully understand all the capabilities of your radio. So but what we have here is the basic. What I've been doing for a while is this will go up to 60 like that, and then so get you your amateur radio, and then this will also get you your amateur radio here. So I'm not saying the way I do this is the best way or anything. I'm just saying this is just the way I do it. So you can totally customize it to whichever way you like, and that's what's cool about these. You can make any of these bands do any frequency you choose. You don't have to do any of this stuff the way it comes. You can change it all. So it's kind of like a scanner. If you guys remember the older style scanners, you had to manually input all that information. It's kind of like what that is here. And radios have been like that for a long time. It's just a lot of guys don't, I think, take the time to actually use the features and understand how they work and all that stuff. So they are cool though. When you have the total understanding of everything, it is kind of cool to change all that stuff. So this one's ready to go. So Mark, I hope you enjoy it. I'm really surprised it lasted so long on my website, being pre-owned for about $40 less or so than what I'm selling these for new. So it is a nice radio, and it's working great. So we'll get it ready to go, and I'll send the video to, well, actually it's going to be a public video, so I'll just send you the link, Mark, and everyone else can just see it as it pops up on the channel. So 7.3 for now, and we'll try to come back later with some more videos. I know I haven't been making a whole lot, so I've been kind of busy with work and family and stuff. So but I do appreciate everybody watching the videos. One thing I wanted to say about the videos, if you're watching older videos, just when you watch some of the videos, just take a look at the date. I believe the videos will show a date that they're published. Sometimes you'll run into some videos where I talk about, doing some things, whether it's pricing, offering certain discounts, stuff like that. And instead of me going back and having to go through all the videos I have on here and like trying to change stuff or re-explain stuff, so what I'll say is, if you have any questions or anything, the best way to find out the answer is just to contact me directly through the website. Is probably the best way. And whatever the website shows is what's the going rate for things. So whatever I've said in a video, if it's 6 months ago, a couple months ago, I try to keep the website as updated as possible. Some of this stuff I'm just talking out loud on some of the videos and thinking about, okay, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm not going to do. And sometimes that might get misinterpreted by some of you guys as far as like, well, you said you were going to offer the radio and maybe give me a discount code to buy the mic and all that stuff. So that I've had a few of those scenarios, but whatever you see on the older videos, you kind of have to just contact me. Sorry, if you have any questions. And what you see on the website is going to be the most recent pricing and everything. So a lot of times when you see that bundle and save option, if you were to look this radio up on there, this being if you find the new one on the website, you'll see an options tab and it gives you certain options. If you see like on the options, the bundle and save at the very bottom, usually it's going to include like the mic like this. The mic's already discounted, so the mic will be discounted in that package. Some of the other radios like the Quad 5N2, I have like this I don't have one right now. This isn't the one that I'm selling, and I'm actually out of them soon, but this is just one that I have that I've been using for a long time. But the RJ45 to 4-pin, those are going to be discounted on that tab. Otherwise, if you purchase one later, it's going to be at the rate on the website. So I hope that makes sense. I'm not trying to discourage anybody or anything, but I say a lot of things on a lot of older videos, and it's just best to look me up on the website or look me up on Google and send me a message and ask me, hey, you might have said this before and all that stuff. It's just easier. Otherwise I have to start removing the old videos and stuff, and it's just a lot more work on the computer and stuff when I'm trying to get radios like this out to customers. So thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys later. 7-3.